Icy Hot Pro with 2 max strength pain relievers. Targets multiple pain receptors. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-electric Prologue SUV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the generous passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Hey, Sports Life and Hip Hop. Man, what's up with your boy Jim Jones, man? They
Oh wow.
what is that he talking about with Nas?
Oh, he said he better than Nas, man. He said he more relevant than Nas. Like, that's crazy. I mean, he does. You know, Nas does He Hate Me Now, which that was a trash song, even though everybody liked it. But he's not more relevant than. I mean, Nas is arguably on the Mount Rushmore of hip hop. So, I mean, unless you're talking about balling, I mean, that was Jim's claim to fame and being Cameron's hype man. So,
What you're telling me is Ballin' is not better than New York State of Mind.
no. Ballin' is a commercial Pop-Tart hit.
So Nas is better.
Yeah, Nas is better.
Welcome to the Central Division Showdown. Monday, once again, we have a jam-packed show. Obviously, NBA free agency is kicked off with a frenzy as it tends to do every summer. But before we get to that, I want to rewind real quick and go back to the draft. NBA draft was last Wednesday, fellas. We didn't have a chance to talk about it as a unit. So without not necessarily your team specific night that they had Wednesday and Thursday, what was the biggest takeaway you had from the draft? Maybe somebody they drafted, maybe the production. Rick, I'm gonna start with you. What's the lasting imprint the draft left for you with?
Piss poor production wise. I didn't like the questions. Player wise, I'm a little biased because I'm I've grown to see people appreciate being drafted, but I didn't like how these young gentlemen acted. Some of them getting drafted.
Some of them. There was more than one.
You had Ace Bailey.
I think we all know the one.
Ace Bailey, but their body language didn't speak volumes. It seemed like they weren't excited, and I blame that for the NIL. But that's another topic for another show.
What about you, Foster? I see you over there nodding your head. What did you think about the draft?
Yeah, well, I have to agree to that. The enthusiasm that now I got some money in my pocket probably goes away when you made $1 million your freshman year. Maybe before your freshman year, but so I do get that. But I left it like I got a lot of research to do to get to know some of these guys because I don't know. There was a lot of folks that I was kind of like, who? Like once we got to a certain point. So Yeah, overall, it was all right. It's interesting. We kind of talked about it. Me and June talked about it, how they split it up in 2 different days. I don't know how long they've been doing that. I think that's pretty new, but probably unnecessary. But I'm sure they made some coin off that decision.
What about you, Tate? You like the 2-night event for the NBA draft?
Nah, I disagree with False. I think they lost money in the second night. That was a thing that started last year because of Bronny. That last year was the first year because Bronny was getting drafted in the second round. I bet they don't bring it back next year. There's no need to. But as far as the draft goes, it's the draft. It's boring. They don't have a strong crew doing it, man. I don't want to watch Big Perk up there talking about whatever he talking about. He ain't talking about nothing, so I don't know whatever he talking about. And the dude, the money dude, what's his name? Bobby Marks or whatever. Man, they need to bring the dude Fran Fraschilla back and tell us about
Yeah.
all these European players and stuff like that, global
Three
players.
3 years from being away. 3 years from being good.
Yeah, so
That's steak.
it was cool though. I usually it's too much to watch. Like the NFL drafts, a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I don't like the way that the NBA because the league year doesn't start till the new league year doesn't start till tomorrow. So they always put the player up there wearing the cap of the team that they gonna get traded from. It get confusing, man. I mean, to me, if they getting traded, they should just put that cap on, rock from there. But because officially the league year starts tomorrow, they got to wear the team that drafted them cap, and then it's just confusing. That's all. I'm being. You guys know, an old guy, and get off my lawn and being grumpy. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Help him out there, June. Be grumpy with him. What are you going to finish your cycle of being upset with the draft?
Well, I mean, I think what they're doing, they're trying to take a page at the NFL draft. One thing the NFL draft does, they do the draft coverage right, and it's over a course of 3 days. And I think the NBA was, trying to mimic that and make it more interesting than what it is. The problem is the talent pool isn't deep enough to do that. You're not excited about the second round as you used to be. So I think it kind of flopped, but I applaud their effort. But yeah, you can go back one day.
Hey, I got a question real quick. Hey, Vincent Tate, wasn't there a time the NBA had 3 rounds in the NBA draft?
At one point.
Yeah, there was. There might even been more than 3 at one point. But yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, the Major League Baseball draft is also a multi-night event, multi-day event, because I think they held theirs during the day, like around 11 a.m., something like that. Which, if you want to talk, June, if you want to talk about not knowing what you're doing, look at that league. They don't do their draft.
Right.
Well, all right, but all right. So we are the Central Division show. We do represent certain teams within the Central Division. We podcast on those teams. So let's talk about those teams in particular, and let's start with the team that won the Central Division for the regular season. Tate, how did you feel about the Cavs draft?
No, I thought the Cavs did the best they could do, considering they didn't make any moves. They only had 2 second-round picks, number 49 and number 58. Feel like they got a good player, a player that's needed. They got Tyrese Proctor out of Duke, was the 5th player from Duke drafted in the draft. All 5 of their starters from last year's team were drafted. He was the point guard, kind of more like a lead guard because he's 6'5". He can shoot the 3, shot 40% from 3. Word on the street was we got him at 49, we being Cleveland. We got him at 49. I mean, he was projected to go like in the right at the top of the second round, somewhere between 32 and 37, something like that. But he was telling teams don't pick me. I want to go to Cleveland because Cleveland had an extra open roster spot and they were willing to give him a roster spot already. So he don't have to worry about a developmental G League contract or anything like that. He signed, is going to be on the 15-man roster. So he has an opportunity already to see if he can earn minutes on the varsity. So I like the pick. The second pick was Salou Niang out of Italy. I believe he's from Senegal, but he plays professionally in Italy. He's like a 6'7", 6'8", swing man. He's a project. He's gonna be stashed over there in Italy for at least probably 2 years, probably. Then we'll see. Then we'll still be working with. But because the Cavs, like I said, had 15 players after they drafted Proctor anyway, they they didn't have room for him to. And then they like their two-way players, two-way contracts they have. Luke Travers and the center, I can't remember his name. They actually cut ties with Imani Bates today, so they didn't have room on the two-way contract. So they let Imani Bates go. They got Travers, this other guy. They sent the second pick of the second round over to going back to Italy to play professionally. And Tyrese Proctor could be a factor considering the Cavs won't be bringing Ty Jerome back. Romy Rome, as my boy Rick called him, Ty Jerome Rome. And we'll talk about that when we get to free agency. But yeah, I like what the Cavs did as far as what they were able to do as far as the draft part of it goes.
All right, thanks for that. Let's swing it around to the Detroit guys. Same question. You all had an improved season at 24-25. How'd the start for the next season go? How was your draft night?
Well, we had one draft pick. That was Chaz Lanier at number 37 out of Tennessee. I kind of figured that would be the pick. It boiled down to two players. After the first round, I kind of figured it was going to be one or two players. The player that I thought would go would be Brome. I think that's his name, out of Auburn, but he was drafted a couple picks earlier than 37. And I figured Chaz Lanier would be the guy. Foster, you can tell him about, his skill set and whatever.
Yeah, so I wasn't, super well versed in, in his abilities, but as I looked into it, I thought it was rather interesting that he, he's a floor spacing, movement shooter with comps to Malik Beasley. I said, that's
You
interesting. But
want to make a bet?
That's crazy. I was, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, we locked in, with Beasley. That's all, but the ink is all, but put down on that piece of paper. But I thought nothing of it. We're probably getting rid of Tim Hardaway. Schroeder's probably going to be gone. We can always use some more shooting. But at any rate, he had a good season at Tennessee. He actually broke a record for the most threes in a single season. And obviously, what's his name from the Lakers?
Austin Connect. Yeah. Dalton Connect.
Dalton Connect, yeah. He just left there. So, he came right in and took over the duties as the primary option over there, and won a couple of awards, best shooting guard in the nation. So I think the one knock to him is that he is an older guy. He played 4 years at Northern Florida, and then he transferred for his final year because of, I think, the COVID year or maybe a red shirt or something like that. But I think that he's a guy that can be make an impact from day one. We definitely have some. There's some availability for him to get some time because Simone Fontecchio didn't have a great year, and then obviously we're losing a guard in Schroeder and possibly Tim Hardaway as well. So he should have an opportunity to play some meaningful minutes right away. He's just going to have to improve his ability to defend his position. But he's got good athleticism. He's got long arms. So it should play up, in the NBA, but we'll see.
Thanks for that. Let's finish up this team-specific draft. I guess, did you like it or did you not, with the Chicago hometown Bulls? Hey, man, What's coming to the West Side, Rick? Let us know. What did the Bulls do to, I guess, move in the right direction for 25-26?
Pay, my loyalty to the Bulls organization is just as blind as constituents and a farewell person, a known person said drinking bleach is good for the coronavirus. It's just like I just blindly support what the Bulls are doing, and I believe what they're doing is good. Noah Esingwe, I believe I'm saying his name right. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tate. You're the stat guy that always corrects me. But Noah Esingwe, I believe his name is 6'10". They're calling him. I saw some video clips of him, and he looks like a bootleg Pascal Siakam. That's his comp, aka Spicy P. He's 6'10". He's long. He's the second youngest in the draft. That's a plus. Jump shot needs to be worked on. He's athletic. Needs to put a little bit more weight on. He's a little thin, but he's a wing, and that's what the Bulls are trying to gather is a bunch of wings to their roster. We need 3D guys, but we got the defensive part. I won't say the other word, but we got the defensive part. But 3-pointer wise, he's not hitting threes. He needs to work on his J. In the second round, we traded down with the Lakers. We got the 55th pick. For some reason, I guess the Lakers were high on. They wanted that 45th pick, and they drafted Rocco Zazarki from Australia, which went to Minnesota. We ended up picking. The Lakers ended up drafting for us Laquan O'Bright from Australia. I don't know too much about his game. I'll say he'll be playing in Summer League, and I expect him to be on the Windy City Bulls G League team. Working his way up, trying to get a lather. There you go, June. So overall, the draft was okay. I believe getting Noah is a good sight because he moved up in the draft. He moved up like at the beginning. I want to say around April, May. He was like lower. He was like end of the first round. But by draft night, he had bumped up. His workouts were pretty good. He's got the length. No Diddy. He's athletic, but no jump shot. He's got to work on his J, and we'll see. Summer League. Hopefully, I'll see more of him and be able to study his. Break his game down even more.
So, what you're saying is that Bulls fans are a cult.
Yeah, we're. I mean, we always go to the game. We sell out every night. Like we're the number one attendance team in the NBA. We're blinded. We are like, no matter what, we're going to support our team. So, yeah.
Very cultish. Very cultish. Maybe they should drink bleach. So, do they draft American players anymore? I mean, I've heard Australia, Sinhalese, Fontecchio. I don't Italian players. Do Americans still play in the National Basketball Association?
I think it's a trend right now. I think everyone's trying to be, and this is old school Tate and June, they're trying to be the Jerry Krause in recruiting Tony Kukoc. They're trying to find that gem where it's like, oh, I found them first. Or they're trying to be like the Bucks discovering Giannis. I think everyone wants to hold their hat on that, or a Joker. So now, the American players that play in college take a back seat. It's like, oh, we've seen you before, but I'm going to, Finland to go see if I can find another guy that can play that's better than an American soil player.
Well, I'll piggyback, Diddy, on what Rick's talking about. I mean, the best players, a lot of them are foreigners. Giannis, Joker, Luka, Shea. I mean, we don't think of it. We see a black guy out there, Shea from Canada. You know what I mean? And, really, the top guys, and the evolution started. The United States not favored to win the next Olympics. It started back with the Dream Team in '92, the original Dream Team, when basketball became global, as players and kids all around the world, them little kids like Joker, saw that, started playing and stuff, and And quite frankly, I think guys over there, some of the different we go back to Matumbo, we go back to Akeem Olajuwon. I mean, there's always been guys, they get taller, they got better footwork, they play soccer, is their major sport. It's a lot of nuance to the reason why. And I think in the NBA, when you picking, especially in the second round, I mean, you'll take a gamble and leave a guy over there, stash him versus taking the eighth best player on Illinois' team. Even the guy from Illinois' draft is a foreigner.
Can I add on that? It also seems like it doesn't benefit you staying in college for 3 years to work on your craft and to get better. The NBA wants younger. They want youth. They want 18-year-olds. They want 19-year-olds. If you're 22 and you're an All-American in college in, let's say, Villanova or a blue chip school or Carolina, shout out to Pay, it doesn't mean much. They really want a newborn and, like a 18, 19 straight out, very little basketball. And they want to develop those guys.
And that's part of the problem. I mean, I think we gamble too much on that. I think, either B. Foster Jones said the guy Lanier, the Pistons guy is old, but he fits. The Pistons ready to win now. They don't need no 18-year-old. They need a 23-year-old to come give them minutes to shoot the three and be part of the rotation. So it depends on what you're doing. If you a trash team, if you Utah, take Bailey, who didn't want to come there. He 18, 19 with tremendous upside. Take that gamble. But teams that want to win, want to win.
And I forgot the coach that said it, but the way they develop their players overseas is different. Whereas over in America, we play 100 AAU games and we just play and play and play. Those European kids practice. That's why their fundamentals are so good. They do a whole bunch of practice and a little bit of game. So they're just, we're used to the ball is life and all the best 6-year-old in the class of 2050 is, like those European kids, they don't even, like, a lot of them start playing professionally at like 16. Like, I want to say, I don't know if it was Rubio, but for some reason his name jumps out.
Luka was 14 too. Luka was 14 too when he started.
So not that some of these young kids don't get exposure to play with with professionals, but I'm talking about professional organized basketball going up against grown men. Like, it's just a different development over there. They don't go to college to play basketball. They start getting groomed for that early on. So
they call it university over there. Another way to look at this is, and I remember I got this take from Bomani Jones a long time ago, back when the influx really just got the cracking. There's a thought that the foreign players might be easier to coach than the the homegrown players. And as you can tell, the foreign players look different than most of the homegrown players too. So there might be a little bit of a classism thing going on. Might be a little bit of a taking back our ball and going home thing. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. But we good luck to the guys coming into the league. Can't wait to see what you do. Maybe MVP and lead one of our teams to a championship. All right, let's move on to the main course. Well, not the main course, but the best part of the appetizer of tonight's show. Let's go to free agency. Free agency kicked off, for those that don't know, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the NBA. It is probably, and I'm gonna kick this all to you all. Do you all still think the NBA free off season is the best off season that there is as far as American sports?
Yeah, I think it is. It's exciting. The NFL is starting to catch up, though. The NFL is starting to get a lot of action. But in NBA, we know when that clock strikes, and before that, because we talked about this Friday night, Pay, with, you said they was already negotiating in. That was Friday. It's supposed to start today at 6. But, as soon as that clock struck 6 today, deals was getting done. When stuff happened at 6:01, them jokers been talking already. So, it's a lot of excitement in the NBA free agency.
Yeah. You said the best offseason is in general, or the free
Yeah,
agency
best
period?
offseason. You put the NBA against NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball. You know, hot stove league. Well, you know, MLS, WNBA. what
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what
I
do you
think.
think?
Yeah, I think just because I think the only one that compares to, I mean, the NBA has all the trades. Like the NFL, you're not going to see, you know, what are the quarter? Caleb Williams for Jared Goff. You're not going to see that type of thing, but you might see, you know, KD get moved in, you know, in the off season or those big names. But the
Leave
NFL,
our
it's
quarterback out of
more.
this, Foster.
That's
You
correct.
said what? Yeah,
Leave our
I don't.
quarterback
Yeah, I
out of
only
this.
say Caleb because it's, you know, Chicago people
Yeah,
here. But
watch
yeah,
your mouth. Watch your mouth.
It's good to
but
see the protections not breaking down for.
oh, he's got the protection now. I might have a
That's right.
line now, but yeah, NBA for sure.
Yeah, you know what, that's a good, excellent point there, Frost, because I think today, and we don't do not. This is not an on ramp. This is not a segue. Today was the first time in the NFL in the last 20 years that an All Pro was traded for another All Pro. So
That's correct.
like you said, you don't see those blockbuster trades in the NFL offseason. More so, you don't see them you don't see trades like that in the NFL at all. You might see big names get cut, and they may move around, but trades, no. So yeah, I do feel like, you know, trades is a big, it's spicy. You know what I'm saying? It does keep the people going. It's provocative. Shout out to my man Will Ferrell. All right,
I'm sorry if I can
free
add
agency. Go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, Pay. Also, what the NBA brings is soap opera. Who knows about? We remember the DeAndre Jordan free agency when they locked him in his house and told him you're going to sign with Dallas. You know, like these are the
I remember
stories. These are the stories that come out and makes the NBA a lot better than Hot Stove or, you know what I'm saying, the NFL. You remember Bronny, D Wade, and Bosh getting together. You know, like they're having a discussion. These are the things that build up. This is what makes the NBA great on free agency period. There's a ton of stories like that come out to light, and Shams breaks them, and we all you know gravitate to that.
Didn't somebody knock on Tracy McGrady's door at like midnight one season for to get him? I think it was him going to Orlando. They was like right at midnight. The the general manager and the coach was at his doorstep or something like that. So yeah. It's a little bit more exciting in the NBA.
That's how you get a felony charge nowadays.
They got him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You remember that, Rick? At Emoji Gate in Dallas, all the emojis, they had locked DeAndre Jordan, like, yeah, he was important.
Wow.
Yeah.
All-star DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. A hell of a lot of did for the Clippers to get them over the hump. If you can't lose him with DeAndre Jordan, all right, still gonna blow a 3-1 lead regardless. Shout out to Glenn. All right, so let's get back. Let's get back to team specific. What there has been some free agent news for the Bulls and the Cavs, right? They parlayed, as they would say in the wire. Who's gonna tell me about it?
Well, it's not much to tell you about. The Bulls traded Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro. Straight up, no draft capital involved. As if you watch this show on a weekly basis, Tatus told you guys that they needed a backup point guard. So it got, you know, no Diddy. Cleveland's needs are met. We got Isaac Okoro, so I'm supposed to talk about him. He's 6'5". He's a wing. Doesn't have a J.
Excellent description.
He shot 39% last year. I mean, he's definitely he's with us guy. He's with us. Like, you can shoot that. I'm sagging off Okoro, but now that he's a Bull, I gotta root for him. But I don't understand the trade. The Bulls actually could have got a first-round pick for Lonzo. They could have got a first rounder. They said, no. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till this offseason and wait for Isaac Okoro. That's what they did. And pretty soon the vein is going to pop out of my neck because it's really annoying that they really did this. But Isaac Okoro, Tate could tell you more about his game. I know about his game. He's a lottery pick. He's a top 5 pick, actually, from Auburn. He's got a little athleticism, but I'm not asking him to score 20 points. I'm not asking him to score 10 points. He can't do that. His J is invalid. And, I mean, hopefully he signed a contract last year, an extension, 3 years, 33 mil edit, if I'm wrong. I think it's 3 years, 33 mil he signed. But, I mean, Lonzo was there for a first-round pick, and I don't understand why we didn't get any draft capital for Lonzo Ball once again. And we just did a straight-up trade with Cleveland. Not only did fine, you make the trade you make the trade, right? But you traded within your division. So this dude could bite you in the rear end. You're going to see him 4 times next year. It's not like they sent Lonzo to the Western Conference. They sent him right in their division. I don't understand the logic, but see red nonetheless.
See red. So quick question before Tate, you jump in. Who gets off the bench first, Okoro or Pat Williams?
It doesn't matter, man. Oh, wow. You stumped me with that question now. Let's go with Okoro.
Okay. All right. So an upgrade in some sense. Tate, what did you think about the trade when it came across your notification bar?
See red. I think Okoro starts next year. I think he starts
That
for
was
3.
unnecessary. That was unnecessary.
But we'll see. No, man, I thought it was a good trade for Cleveland. Rick was absolutely right. Isaac Okoro last summer signed a 3-year, $33 million year, so $11 million per. We thought he could be, when he was drafted, he was just a building block, right? With potential to get better offensively, but a defensive reputation, defensive stopper. And he's great at defense, great on-ball defender. You know what I mean? So I think, Chicago, that's what you paying for. But as far as it goes for Cleveland's about to be a second apron team. And to get off that $11 million, and even though Lonzo makes 10 a year, you save $1 million there because once you cross the apron, any amount you over, you pay that times 6. So, Lonzo's gonna make it. If we're over, his losing that $1 million actually saves 6 to Okoro. Plus, Lonzo makes the $10 million a year, but he has a team option next year, so you can get off him where you'd have been stuck with no Diddy. You would have been forced to have Okoro for another year. Where if you want to cut or trade Lonzo next year, you can. But I think if he's healthy, he works. And that's the problem we ran into against the Pacers, and that's why Ty Jerome didn't come back. So the draft we talked about earlier of Proctor, the addition of Lonzo Ball, Cleveland gets 2 more ball handlers and secondary facilitators. I think that helps them. So Lonzo does some of the things that Ty Jerome did, and he does some of the things as far as defensively being a big guard because Cleveland needed a big defensive guard because Ty Jerome didn't play no defense. Lonzo can play defense and be in the game to rest Garland or Mitchell and still have a guy that can guard the 2 in the game. So I like his attributes. He's a high IQ player. I believe last year with the Bulls, he shot 37%, but he shot high as 40. When he came out of UCLA, that was broke. But when he got hurt, I think he worked in the jumper quite a bit. So, no, I'm actually pleased with the trade from Cleveland's perspective. Saves them money, gives them a contract that'll be tradable. Even if it's not working this year, at the trade deadline, you can trade him, get an asset back, and that team who trade for him maybe can cut him at the end of the year and save salary cap on their side. So I think he's a positive asset, and if he's healthy and he plays well, then that's a win for Cleveland.
Hey, Tate, is he a locker room guy? I don't know Okoro. Is he a good locker room guy?
Yeah, he's a good locker room guy. He get along with his teammates. He's fun. It's fun. He's a good kid. Just that jumper just broke. And he actually shoots good in the regular season, but he played himself off the court in the postseason. Well, he don't got to worry about that in Chicago. See red, but that postseason jumper being broke because hopefully he can hit the shots in the play-in. Hopefully.
Hey, fun fact: they were picked. Pat Williams and Okoro were picked back to back in the lottery in 2020. So y'all kind of got them
Yeah.
both. That.
Well, Williams went 4. Okoro went 5.
Yeah, Cora won 5.
Super Mario Brothers back together. Detroit. So the only engagement we got so far have been from Detroit fans. So we've got some questions for you guys to answer, but we'll get to those second. Free agency. Chris LeVert, what's happening?
Yeah, that's news that broke just before the show started. But yeah, it appears that the Pistons have pivoted off of the Malik Beasley situation and went after a player that formerly played in Michigan, originally from Columbus, but yeah, he went to Michigan, and yeah, so we got another scorer off the bench, but I'll let June tell you more about him. He's a Michigan guy, so.
Hey, MSU Detroit, homie. That's Karis LeVert, not Chris LeVert.
Yeah, it's Karis LeVert. Yeah.
Us state fans are disrespectful. We Chris, Kevin, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's
Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald. Yeah.
Tate, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He's about Karis LeVert, 6'4", 6'5". He's a good defender. He can be your secondary ball handler. He can score. He can score. I was asking for Karis LeVert a couple of years ago, so I don't know if it's too late, but they got him, and they also re-signed Paul Reed in case they need a few minutes at the end of the game.
He played in the playoffs last year because of Stu, but yeah,
Stewart was hurt, man. That's the only reason. But yeah, I like the pickup. It wasn't what I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one happening. I had some other people in mind, but
he's a JB guy, June. He played for JB in Cleveland.
That's right.
I mean, he's 6'6". He got under JB. He got better defensively, but I think it's exactly what y'all need. I think he's better than Schroeder. He's a secondary ball handler. Now, Cade can really stay on ball if you want to, because he got somebody that can also give him a break, and kind of be a secondary playmaker and stuff like that. He's a great passer, and he's a scorer. It's 3. He's got better than 3. I'm just guessing. I bet he probably shot about 34, 35%. So, and he's a JB guy.
Yeah, he's not he shot actually he shot 37% from 3.
Okay,
yeah. My biggest
the Cavs didn't want to trade him last year, but they wanted to really acquire DeAndre Hunter. But I think Karis is a great player. I think he's going to be a perfect fit for y'all. Y'all see.
Yeah. I just want him to stay healthy. I know he had a string of a couple years where he was, playing like 40-ish games a year, which was kind of scary. But that was kind of going on earlier in his career. He's been around a while.
He has something with his kidney or something, some kind of kidney infection causing him to miss a year or something. But yeah.
Question from MSU Detroit fan. So the signing Chris LeVert stop the Pistons from re-signing Timmy Hardaway Jr., or do we still keep him?
I think Tim Hardaway was not an option at the end of the season. However, with the thing that's going on with Malik Beasley, you never know. He's still a viable option if you choose not to pursue Beasley after the issues that he has. So I don't know. I think Karis LeVert is your Dennis Schroeder this year. Last year. So that was either you was going to re-sign Schroeder or get someone else. And I think that's what they did. And I think you could have kept Hardaway, but I don't think Hardaway was in the plans going forward anyway. Just my opinion.
I mean, to me, they're kind of no. Well, I won't say they're the same player because I think that LeVert is a better creator for himself. But how many Michigan guys do we really need on the team, right?
There you go.
Hey man, watch your mouth.
Yeah, but I don't know. We signed in for $14 million. So I think you still have an opportunity to address another need we have with the amount that we have left over.
I mean, and we still got Ivy. You know, you can't forget about Ivy. He got hurt.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
there's how many guards do you have? You know.
Mm-hmm.
You got Sasser. Yeah. You drafted a guard. So yeah, we did good so far.
Let's go ahead and take that break. When we come out on the other side, we are going to talk about the biggest news in the NBA free agency so far, and it's, as you know, the Central Division. Everything that happens in the NBA starts with Central Division, so this news is very central to us. Watch it live. Stay where you're at. You paying attention on audio, whether that's Spotify, Apple, or iHeartRadio, or whomever. Check out our advertising partners. We'll be right back on the other side of that break.
Need a Garrett's popcorn break.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
All the guys from Chicago, don't get mad at me. I ain't letting it slip. It just, as you produce, you got a lot of things going on. You're juggling a lot of hats. But trust me, I did notice that hat that Foster's got on.
Uh-oh.
Foster, throw that garbage in the trash. Take it off right now. I don't care if your lining is busted. Take that trash off.
Never that.
Fellas. So I don't know if you all remember. I don't know if you all watched wrestling back in the 90s, but it used to crack when you heard that glass break and you heard the dun for Steve for Stone Cold. That's how it felt when I saw the news of Malik Beasley being investigated, and then got the immediate notification that Bleachers and Speakers is going live. It felt just like Stone Cold was coming down the ramp. Foster, help us on. We've touched on it a little bit. We've grazed the topic so far tonight a few times. What's going on with Malik Beasley?
So we got the news on Sunday that Malik Beasley is being investigated by the U.S. District Court with allegations of possible gambling to NBA games. I found out live on the air from Pay, actually, that this dates back to when he was a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. So I can't help but blame Glenn for this. I don't, just somehow it's got to be his fault. So, but yeah, no, I mean, obviously my initial reaction was disappointment. He was one of the faces of the team, and it just seemed like a match made in heaven. He was a big part of our of us turning things around, and it was kind of like too good to be true, but the timing of it, obviously this was all on purpose. I feel like, right before he signs his deal. I mean, it was done. It just had to happen. But my initial reaction was we need to immediately keep it pushing and figure something out because time is of the essence. The draft just happened. The summer league is about to start, and we need to address this because there's just no telling how it's going to turn out. Now, we know that we've seen the worst of things. We've seen the Jonte Porter situation, but we've also seen a guy like Terry Rozier, who was found, I guess, officially not guilty today, which I also think is kind of weird timing. But I think the announcement, or maybe the announcement had already happened, but they made it known that there was no wrongdoing, or he's not being reprimanded at all for the situation. So there's two ways that it can be, that it can play out. But very inopportune time for Mr. Beasley. Wish the best for him. And hey, if we can figure out a way to make this situation, we can sign him for a couple, slices of Little Caesars pizza or some Coney dogs. Hey, come on back. But welcome Karis LeVert, because the show must go on. I almost want to call him Chris now. That's throwing me off.
According to Gemini, that is important. You got to specify if you're getting your information from AI. As of Monday, June 30th, 2025, reports indicate that Terry Rozier has been cleared of any wrongdoing regarding the federal probe. While the official announcement from the U.S. Attorney's Office has not been made, ESPN's Shams Charania reported that Rozier has been cleared and there is nothing really active as of right now with him. And he is expected to play the next NBA season. If you all recall from that, headline from Terry Rozier being involved in some type of investigation, the NBA came out same day and said, hey, we already investigated, bro. We cleared him. He's good. And I think this dates back to something 3 seasons ago as it relates to Terry Rozier. Malik Beasley. NBA ain't said that. NBA said we haven't investigated him and we haven't cleared him. Well, I'm sure the NBA was already well aware of this, and they already did their own internal investigation, because these things we're the last to find out. Beasley's attorney already knew. Obviously, the U.S. Attorney's Office the investigation isn't new, and the NBA and their security division and whatever gambling partner they had that was privy to this action, they've been started all this. So it's a long-winded way of me saying where the smoke there's fire. June, you got anything on this?
Yeah, I mean, as we said offline, Rick noted, you're not guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. But if that means we can get him for a discount, he did it.
See, we all about the finesse. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but seriously, it was like, man, why now? Right? This happened Sunday, and it's like, oh, come on, man. I think this is going to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to piggyback on that, because the right now part is very key to this. As he's negotiating another $7-8 million deal.
Yeah.
Not 8-figure deal. In comes the news right underneath the door. Like, hey, slow down. There's going to be there's going to be a little time and pass from this. You gotta feel like maybe the Pistons, it was like, you ask for a little bit. How about you ask for a little bit too much? How about we walk that back a little bit, Joe?
And that's what I'm hoping. But at the same time, if you look, not looking at it from Pistons fan, just looking at it on the outside, he could have possibly left millions of dollars on the table with the timing of it, So it's unfortunate for him and his family for the timing of it. Even if he's not guilty, the timing of it kind of messes everything up for the moment.
I'm coming to you next, Rick. But
hey, yo.
I'm coming to you next. I'm coming to you. The conversation's coming your way next, Rick. I mean, what do you mean? What are you saying? Hey, so on that special live report the other day from B. Foster, which is a great episode. You all want to check out Bleachers and Speakers wherever you can, wherever you get Bleachers and Speakers and the post game podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. It was stated you had made a you brought something to my attention that maybe him dropping the ball with the season on the line, maybe it makes sense now. However, being responsible with all this, Tom Habistro had did some reporting around this, and it appears to be it was about his rebounding props from that season. So, like Foster brought up, Jonte Porter and the Terry Rozier things, those were involving player-specific props and a lot of sharp money going right on a particular side of that prop right before tip off. Rick, you and your boy Zeke, y'all be deep in these FanDuel streets, man. What do you think about one, player props in general? Should that be something that that we're doing out here? Because it's ripe for someone to I guess for some malfeasance rather.
I'll say that these stories are going to surface more and more as society, we become more indulged into gambling and parlays. This story doesn't surprise me anymore. I think that I think Michael Porter, his brother, I think that story really took the shock value away. Like, these guys are really, and I'm not saying he is guilty, but there's something going on. Like, there's some smoke around all of this. But it is unfortunate with the timing. It doesn't stop us from giving our hard-earned money away and trying to see these guys get to their goal or get to the number that we want them to. And, you know, as a player, there is, I would say there's a lot at stake. I mean, these players are willing to risk it all, and you don't know off the court what these players are dealing with, what they have to encompass, what they have to be bothered with that allows them to participate in such. I'll just simply say that the parlays and the gamblers here to stay, as you well know. A lot of money is being made from this, and this is not the last story that you're going to hear. I mean, it's only the beginning, I believe.
Oh no, you definitely correct. You are 1,000% correct. This is only the beginning. Human beings are always going to try to test their limits. They're always going to test their luck. If you put out there that, hey, I can make a couple extra dollars on the side, especially for a marginal player. Maybe not somebody at Malik Beasley's level, but somebody at Jonte Porter's level. I can make a couple of dollars hitting my under, because the under is a lot more tempting than the over, right? Shout out to Charlie Hustle. Tate.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Pat. I always think of one thing when I hear these stories. And I don't know, June Tate, I'm sure you guys saw this movie. I always think of Blue Chips when what's his name was like, it was just one, coach, just one time. The time he gambled.
Yeah.
Why you always call me in June when you think something old?
We the OENs, man.
Y'all appreciate it. Y'all indulge in it. But seriously, y'all have seen Blue Chips. What was his name? Tony. Yeah. Tony was a fifth-year senior. And what's his name? Ran, you know what I'm saying? Pulled him up by the chin straps. Was like, yo, man, did you gamble on the games? He was like, yeah, you know, it was one time, coach, I swear. And then he ended up fessing up and said he did. So I always just think of how, like, you know, Blue Chips was before his time, and that was just college. So you can only imagine with the NBA now the gamble is in effect. Sorry, that was out of the moment.
Well, that was a story similar to the real life story. If you remember, if you're old enough to remember the show Goodfellas. You remember the movie Goodfellas?
Yeah.
It's a classic. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, it was real life. The dude Henry Hill, the main character in the movie, he actually had a whole point shaving scheme going at Boston College back in the 80s. And you know, so first, way before online betting, all that, the gangsters was all up in that thing, recruiting kids, get them to shave points so they could bet on games and stuff like that. So it's always been a thing. I mean, I think I would agree with Rick or B Falls, whichever one you said it. That's just it's always going to be some of that. You know what I mean? As long as it's parlays, it's always going to be some of that. A joker can try and win and still not hit his numbers just because he told his cousin or homie from the block to, you know, bet it. I ain't gonna score 24 tonight. I'm gonna cut 22 and act like I pulled a hammy and come out the game or something. You know, and his boy gonna hit for some bread. So I think it's always gonna be a thing. I think the only way to kind of eliminate that is eliminate parlays. Period.
Can't do that.
So I see where you all are going with this. So my question is that since you all are Rick, Tate, and my Detroit dynamic duo, you all to see that this is always going to be a part of sports as long as sports is in bed with gambling. So do you think it's a big deal? Guys are, maybe juicing their prop bets or going under intentionally. Does this type of story matter to you?
I've never stopped watching sports, but I mean, it definitely depreciates. Not depreciate. Is that the word? It compromises the game in the way that
There you go.
steroids does. Like where you're like, well, you start thinking, dang, Beasley did our season dropping a ball in the corner, something he's never done in his entire life. It makes the conspiracy theorists really get to cooking and finding the footage of weird plays that everybody's done, but the microscope is on you now because you got accused. I don't say you got caught, but you got accused of something like that, and it compromises everything that you thought that you knew and loved about the season a little bit. But my bad, I was cutting off.
And I think when it was Porter's brother, it didn't matter. He was trash. Malik Beasley is a legit player that can really have an impact and effect on the game. I mean, so yeah, Porter's brother is found guilty, kicked out of the league and all that. It get real serious with Malik Beasley though, because he's about to get a $45 million contract. You know what I mean? John Tate Porter, whatever his name is, he's been lucky to get $5 million for a 4-year deal. So, he needed to do it, but he needed to make some extra bread as far as NBA standards go.
If you believe that sports doesn't have any scandal or it's just like scandalous free, you just believe in Santa Claus and like, dude, there's some dirty water in there in sports. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some fishy, there's some some crazy stuff. So I never believe, it doesn't make, like B-Fall said, I don't stop watching. I already know that there's some stuff that is unsavory that no one wants to admit. But I mean, it's kind of like if you got, a pretty girl and she got stretch marks. You still gonna like her. You still gonna get with her. It's just, she got stretch marks. Who cares?
Hey, some people like that. That's some people.
Yeah, some people like stretch marks. It's a preference.
Give me them tiger stripes.
So sports is that. Like we know that it's not perfect. We don't believe in Santa Claus over here. So we know that there's some stuff that, is a little unsavory, as I stated.
So I know if you watch this show, if you follow this program or follow any one of our programs, you probably have seen our show, The Homies, on Friday. We had a topic about Pete Rose going into the Hall of Fame. And I remember my co-host, my producer, my cousin down there saying, no, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. I just want to throw out 2 words: take integrity. And I want to keep that word integrity locked center, right? If you allow things like this to continue, things of this nature, and I'm piggybacking on what you said, B. Foster, you lose the integrity of the game. It's no longer NBA. It's now World Wrestling Federation of Basketball. It's now anime. It's not sports in that. It's not sports in that same context of what you used to understand it. It's just entertainment. Rick, as you said, you're going to continue watching. I mean, yeah, you're going to continue watching, but will you feel like what you're watching is the same thing when you obviously know that there's the other guys got other motives than just winning the game, just getting buckets? Like, you know what? Today I don't want to get buckets. Who wants to play? Or in fact, better yet, who wants to watch a basketball game where you're actually thinking like somebody out there don't want to get buckets today? Somebody out there is actually trying to be Patrick Williams. Rick.
Wow. Wow.
I got no response right now. I got nothing.
That's good. But I know you got plenty of takes and plenty of response. What's coming up on Sports Life and Hip Hop this weekend for July?
We're gonna meander throughout the city, catch some fests. see if we can interview some people. We got NASCAR coming to Chicago. We're gonna try to make it down there if it doesn't rain. Forecast doesn't look too well. What else do we have? We got a couple of car shows lined up, and we're gonna try to stay cool and smooth out here in these summer streets.
What's coming to the Bleachers the Speakers channel this coming week? I know it's baseball season, cornucopia, any other Pistons type information that people might want to check out?
Yeah, we're doing a Pistons weekly every Saturday. So you can tune in for that post-game podcast. We'll be doing a show every week, and that's on Saturdays. We'll get back to it. We got out of it for a second, but we did a show last week and the week before that. So, and we also have a new show that'll be on the channel soon. It's called On Wax Michigan Sports Uncut, where we talk about all sports in Michigan from all levels, from little league all the way up to the professional leagues. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on with the channel. So subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube and make sure you listen. For anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can find us there. Just type in Post Game Podcast, FFSN in your search. Make sure you download those episodes. Make sure the notification bell on, so when we drop content, you'll get an alert.
Never miss a drop. So the Detroit Shock, huh?
Yeah, we already got one championship over there. So yeah, come 2029, it's like, damn, I'm gonna be an old head by the time that happens. But yeah, more basketball to watch. I'll be able to damn near create a WNBA player by then. But
with every drop.
Wow. Well, you got really deep in the woods there, Foster. Okay. Real quick, yes or no? We're up against the clock here. Bill Laimbeer, Detroit. Let's say Detroit basketball. Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Top four. So Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
What?
Give me four.
Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace is above him, right? You got Zeke. You got Ben Wallace.
Bill Laimbeer got 2 chips.
Yeah.
What, as a coach? Oh,
and as a coach, he got 2 as a coach.
He got 2 as a coach too.
As a Detroit Shock coach.
Wait, hold on. We said Detroit. What did we say? Detroit
basketball, Mount Rushmore.
Of all the players, like Robin's not above him.
Cade Cunningham.
I mean, it may be too soon for that, but so I respect that. But I mean, it's
if Cade Cunningham can creep on the list, Grant Hill got to be on it.
Tate, that's Rather Cavalier Know It Alls podcast. You all had a great interview yesterday. You want to tell the folks about it and where they can find that interview if they were so inclined?
Yeah, man, I'll be real quick. I just want to refer back to me being the homie that had to take integrity. We're talking about should Pete Rose make the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose was a great player. When Pete Rose was betting, he wasn't betting on no parlays. He was betting that his team win the game. I think that's a completely different thing. As far as That's Rather Cavalier podcast, check us out on Fans First Sports Network. That's Rather Cavalier. We have a show once a week on YouTube. That's this show. So check us out there. For now, as the all season gets going, summer league starts, and then I recruit some of my team back that took off after the All-Star break. Pretty much, even before that. Now that I think about it, we'll get some get back. As far as the Know It Alls podcast and the homies, because the homie B Dirt was on yesterday because he runs the Running Through the Jungle podcast and the Pay Dirt podcast. Him and Pay with the sports gambling, no less. They're telling you guys what parlays it takes. So listen to them because they probably in touch with Malik Beasley. But I think that
allegedly
we had Cincinnati Bengals running back on the show yesterday. Taj Brooks, 6th-round pick, probably is gonna be the second running back going into the season, and I expect by mid-season he might be the starter because he's a little more durable, can handle more of a workload than I believe Chase Brown can. But I think it'll be a dual backfield, and I think he'll be a part of it. What I say? What I say though? I said he'll be part of a dual backfield.
Nah.
All right, man. I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna rewind the tape. But nah, man. To finish up, it was a great interview. He's gonna, like I said, he's gonna be part of the rotation in the Bengals backfield. So yeah, check that out on the No Loss podcast. You can catch it on Running Through the Jungle. Also, if you're a Bengals fan, definitely check it out there. Support B Dirt. And the homies, we rock on the homies every Friday evenings. Myself, Pay, the aforementioned B Dirt, and Big G. Though Big G's taking a sabbatical for a minute because of work. So, I was talking about getting.
He's running up and paying his bets. He's doing the Malik Beasley. He's not paying his bets up. Tell the truth. He's running. But go ahead, finish up.
Uh-oh.
No, what he said was his work schedule changed on Friday evening. So, but yeah, I'm looking, to have one of these guys fill in from, while Big G's gone, just so we can get that fourth man on there, get a little different personality takes and some sports takes and some stuff. We had a lot of fun on there. It's a lot of no ditties by your boy Pay up there. So, be sure to tap in. Wednesday, the Steelers are part of that big trade today, trading an all-pro for an all-pro. We'll be on Smash the Gas on Wednesday on the Know It Alls channel, and we'll be on Pump Your Brakes on the Steel Curtain Network and the Know It Alls channel, dual casting, to talk about everything that's happened this week with the Steelers and stuff like that in the trade for Jalen Ramsey for Minka Fitzpatrick. So check us out wherever you find your podcast, FFSN, on YouTube, where you find your audio podcast. Thank you. Fine.
That's a fine.
Fine.
That's our show for this week, fellas. And everyone watch. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week on the Bleachers Speakers channel, and you got the information where they checked us out in. I will need everybody to stay safe, stay cool in this hot weather, and make sure you wear deodorant. Peace. Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say three things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.